A very good afternoon to all. I declare the special convocation open.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिर्देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्याम्पः. Thank you.
A very good evening. The graduating batch of the EPGD ABA, Professor Bharat Bhaskar, Director, I am Ahmedabad, esteemed members of the Board of Governors, respected faculty members, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here with you all on this very special day. At the outset, my heartfelt congratulations to the EPGD ABA Class 2024 on your graduation. Today, we will walk out of this red brick lined campus as experts trained and skilled by the most prestigious management institute of our country into industry that is in the midst of a paradigm shift where data is the new gold mine and analysis of data and unlocking the potential of future is what everyone is expecting. It's a matter of great pride for us to have with us our own alumnus, Mr. Shrikant Velamakanni, as chief guest today. Shrikant is a co-founder, group chief executive and executive vice chairman of Fractal. The impact of analytics on the Indian industry is nothing short of but transformative. It is undeniable that today the data-driven organization that employs analytics are making better and timely decisions and are enjoying higher operational efficiency and have robust revenues and profits. From the operation to marketing and from HR to public policy formulation, you will find the demand for trained business analysts growing across all the sectors. Gone are the days when physical survey forms were the only fashion in which customer data was gathered. Today, there are multiple sources of data gathering, transaction, social media data, and most recent source, which is wearable digital devices that divulge lot many data in various factors. The current scenario and organizational ability to compete effectively in a competitive marketplace will be largely determined by ability to tackle hurdles by managing big data. However, many organizations are failing to leverage this shift because of critical shortage of skilled manpower in the domain and who can actually dissect the data and come out with a solution. One of the biggest challenge, as I see, is that people do not understand that well, and that's why they said this is not of use. And that's the reason why it's not happening. So your going and joining the force would definitely help many organizations in our country, including the government, to take decision based on data and not just decision based on the gut. And I think that is going to be the future. There could be more opportunity moment for you as you walk out of these corridors. You return to your home ground equipped with an arsenal that will help to navigate the unpredictable, every ever evolving business landscape, empowering you to become the game changer of tomorrow's business world. With knowledge and skills you have acquired during the association with IMA, you now stand in a position where you can visualize complex data patterns, transform members' numbers into meaningful stories, predict future industry trends in your organization, and so on. The data delge that you see today and the dynamicity in the industry is only set to intensify as we move forward. And there, your skill will become very critical. While doing this, ethical consideration, data privacy, and responsible AI usage will be paramount for all of us. I'm sure coming out of our institute, you must be transparent, trustworthy, and ensure your insight for the benefit of society and not to exploit it. As you head back out of the campus, I would request you to use your analytical skills to review your life and career also. Always believe in your ability and be open in making mistakes and learning from them, and do not let failures pull you down. You will leave this campus, but do come and visit us again and again. Your faculty would be very happy to meet you again. Anytime you are stuck, your faculty is someone who is going to come and help you without any expectation. This is the biggest gift the institute is given you, and take maximum advantage of it. Institute will always be open to welcome you with this. I wish you all a very best in your lives and careers. Thank you very much.
Candidates of the 16-month EPGD ABA, please rise. The candidates will individually receive their diplomas from the Chairperson, Board of Governors, IIM Ahmedabad, as I call their names, then return to their seats and remain standing in front of their chairs until all the candidates of the program have received their diplomas and the Chairperson, Board of Governors, IIMA, has conferred diplomas on them. The candidates would then bow and sit down. Aditya Joshi, Alisha Panda, Amar Jadhav, Ankit Saxena, Ankit Vardhan, Apurva, Arun Kumar, Chirag Ashok Kumar Gupta, Deepak Pandey, Dhaval Dinesh Bhai Rao, Dhiraj Pant, Deshti Nayak, Elsie Dennison Matthew, Jaideep Kamal Gupta, Jayjit Das, K. Aditya Srinivas, Mohit Rawat, Mrinal Kishore, Nilesh Vijay Patil, Nitin Singla, Partho Pine, Piyush Pandey, Piyush Beniwal, Prachi Chauhan, Priyanshu Mehta, Sahil Aneja, Saurav Kayal, Tushar Sinha, Venkata A.S. Aditya Ayagari, Vini Sharma, Mr. Chairperson, I present Abhishek Dandona and 36 others who have fulfilled all the requirements for the award of the postgraduate diploma in advanced business analytics and request the Indian Institute of Management Ahmedabad Board of Governors to confer the diploma on them.
By the authority given to me by the Indian Institute of Management Ahmedabad Board of Governors, I confer on you the postgraduate diploma in advanced business analytics. And I charge you that in your life, by word and deed, you prove yourself worthy of it. Please have seats. We now are looking forward eagerly, and I now request Sri Srikant, co-founder of and Group Chief Executive, Vice Chairman of Fractal Analytics, to deliver the special convocation address.
Early this morning, as I was preparing to leave my home to catch the flight to Ahmedabad, my 11-year-old daughter woke up because of the commotion, wished me luck for the commencement speech, and then said something very profound in her half awake state. She said, "Daddy, remember that these students that you're addressing are exactly like you. So think of what you would have liked to have heard when you were graduating." So here's that speech. Esteemed faculty, distinguished guests, and graduates. In the next 18 minutes or so, I'd like to share 3 stories from my life, not because they're exceptional or extraordinary incidents, not because I am exceptional or extraordinary in any way, but because these incidents have shaped who I am. And I think it's possible that you may learn a little bit from these and may remember something from these events and these speeches. Because I was thinking about when I graduated, what was the convocation speech like? And frankly, I don't remember a single word from that speech. It'll be a lot better than offering you any advice than presenting these stories. So here are those stories. Firstly, I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. When I walked into this campus in July 1996, there's one thing I was sure of: I will never be an entrepreneur. And yet, for the past 24 years, I have been an entrepreneur. So what changed? I grew up with 2 assumptions about entrepreneurship. One that was taught by my father, and one that I learned by observing the world around me. My dad put it very bluntly to me. He said, "There is no such thing as an honest businessman. An honest businessman is an oxymoron." And growing up in the India of the 1980s and 90s, this largely rang true. The second assumption that I had was that you needed money in order to be an entrepreneur. Only people who already have capital can create more capital, can afford to be entrepreneurs. And so I thought. So one fine day on campus, in a course that was titled Business Ethics and was taught by the Venerable Dr. Deepthi Bhatnagar, we had a guest lecture by a gentleman called Narayan Murthy, Mr. Narayan Murthy, who ran a small tech services company out of Bangalore that was called Infosys Technologies. He spoke very passionately about building an ethical company that he called was powered by intellect and was driven by values. At that time, I hadn't realized, but it helped me challenge my first assumption about entrepreneurship. India was changing, and the nature of entrepreneurs was also changing. After I graduated, I also saw how people, just like me, were beginning to raise venture capital and build some very impressive companies. So that helped me. That really helped me in realizing that the second assumption was also flawed. Now, both my assumptions were invalidated. Really, there was no reason for me to not be an entrepreneur. So now, 24 years after founding an AI company, I feel grateful that I had an open mind. I incorporated the latest information into my mental models and arrived at a better decision to be an entrepreneur than take on the more tried and tested route of the corporate world. If there's one thing I want to share with you today, it is that as fellow travelers in the world of data and analytics, we must practice what we preach. Eat our own dog food, as they say. Drink our own Kool-Aid, as some others will say. Pick your own metaphor. But use the lessons from the world of AI and analytics in the way we make decisions, in the way we learn, and in the way we absorb and reflect on feedback and learn from feedback. Let's start with feedback, for instance. In 2010, Fractal was a small company with a great potential. We had just navigated the 2008-9 terrible recession, and I had navigated Fractal through a very tough period in our business in other words as well, because our founders were leaving, some of the founders were leaving. And by 2010, we were beginning to look for venture capital. In that process, I met a gentleman called Vineet, who was my classmate, who was my senior from college. He was a very gifted venture capitalist by then. He spent a full day at Fractal offices along with some of his American colleagues. And he came up to me and said, "We are not going to invest in US Fractal." Now, this is not very unusual to get rejected for venture capital. We had several VCs who rejected us because they felt analytics and AI was a very nascent industry, especially in 2010. They thought services were not very scalable. But this was not what Vineet had as logic. His logic was different. He said, "Shrikant, I really like your business. I like your company. I like the space. But I don't believe you, that is Shrikant, are capable of scaling this business. And considering that you're critical for this business at this stage, we will not invest in you." So this was something very hard-hitting feedback. Especially, I had spent almost 10 years building Fractal and navigating the business thus far. Now, I had two options at this point of time. I could reject that feedback and continue to plow on, or I could assimilate that feedback and get better. So I chose to do the latter. Now, the first thing I had to do was to share this information with my executive team. I shared this information with the executive team and resolved to work on improving my overall leadership of the company. And in short, 3 years after that, we had raised a significant amount of venture capital. And the feedback I received from some investors at that time was that I would make a great public company CEO. So things changed in 3 years. Around a similar time, this gentleman called Shrikant Gupte, who was a management consultant, was sort of a coach for me. He gave me another piece of feedback. He told me very bluntly, he said Fractal is one of the most client-unfriendly organizations he had ever seen. I initially argued with him. I said, "No, that's simply not true. Look, client value creation is a value." He said, "Shrikant, you're obsessed with the craft of analytics. You're not obsessed with improving client outcomes. So you're not really client-centric." Now again, moment for us to take in this feedback to heart and build a much better company. Most people in this world receive feedback very poorly. That's just the nature of feedback. Feedback feels like an attack in the moment. And our first instinct is to obliterate it, defend ourselves, and protect our fragile ego. But once we process it more deeply, once we realize that this feedback doesn't define who we can be, we can get better and we can unlock the power of feedback. Now, how is it related to AI and analytics? We all know that AI algorithms learn from data. In fact, all learning happens from feedback, the feedback loop. When a model predicts something wrongly, the weights of the model change, and that's how the machine learning models get updated. What if all of us could receive feedback like those machine learning algorithms which have no judgment? They just receive feedback and get better and just update the weights. What if we are hungry to receive that feedback and improve our accuracy? Feedback is a gift. Cultivate it carefully. And especially as you become more senior in your organizations, build a team around you that gives you feedback and isn't afraid to receive feedback from the rest of the world. This is nothing new. Our wise poets from the Middle Ages had figured this out long ago. In the words of Kabir Das, "Nindak nede rakhiye, angani kuti chhawaye, bin sabun pani bina, nirmal kare subhaye." Loosely translated, it means Keep your critics close and listen to their advice. Let their hut be in your courtyard. Without soap or water, they will clean you up. My final story for you. In 2020, COVID hit, and the entire world was scrambling to figure out how to respond to this unprecedented attack on our way of living. After we quickly moved people to work from home seamlessly, we began to explore how we could contribute to the world in meaningful ways. The question we asked ourselves was the following: when this COVID crisis is all over and we live to tell our children and grandchildren all about this massive disruption and loss of life that we've experienced, what will we tell them? That we made a difference? Or that we just watched Netflix and YouTube at home? What will we regret more? The answer was blindingly obvious. We wanted to contribute. So we assembled a team of 50 people, helped the governments of Mumbai, Karnataka, and Telangana with all sorts of data-driven decision making. We enabled Karnataka to make sure that from the time somebody is detected with COVID, we're able to admit that patient into a hospital within 2 hours, into the right hospital. In Mumbai, we consulted with a panel of 10 doctors who were in charge of the medical response to the crisis. We analyzed mortality data and identified risk factors such as obesity and diabetes that significantly elevated mortality risk. And at Cure.ai, we built a COVID detection algorithm from chest x-rays that made a huge difference around the world, from Italy, America to Mumbai. In life, we will all be faced with major decisions. And one effective way to determine a good decision from bad is something you can take straight from the science of machine learning. It's called regret minimization. The question you have to ask is, what will you regret more? The short answer generally is that a regret minimization algorithm will suggest that we explore and experiment more when the decisions are small and reversible. And the regret minimization algorithm will prevent us from making huge blunders that threaten our survival. So when you make big decisions in your life, do think of regret minimization, especially when faced with ethical decisions. I hope when you're faced with those decisions, you will bring in absolute moral clarity and do the right thing. Now, I would like to wrap up. We are all living in unprecedented times. We are living in the age of AI, and the future of work will be different from what we have seen so far. We have to be ready and prepared to expect the unexpected. The what, the why, the what, and the how of work will be different from what we have seen so far. Firstly, 40 hours a week may or may not be necessary. In our lifetime, we may be able to alleviate poverty and guarantee the basics of life to every citizen of this world. In such a world, we will seek more meaning and purpose in the work we do. It will also mean that we'll be able to unleash our imagination and think of the next big thing. Work, as we know, will get automated. A lot of the work that we do today and we think is human will feel like it is subhuman, inhumane, or too dangerous for human beings to do. In that world, how we will engage with each other, how we will make use of information, how will we make decisions, and most importantly, how will we learn from feedback will change. And as you venture into this world and build a 50-year career, I hope you will lead the world with unimpeachable moral clarity. And analytically speaking, may your errors always be random. May your biases be minimal. May your confidence intervals be just right. And may you incorporate new data and revise your models often. I wish you all the best.
Good afternoon. As Shrikant already spoke about what data can do, how you should make use of the data, let me first and foremost, on behalf of Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, greet you all on achieving this new diploma. Diploma is a proof that you have acquired and imbibed in you the knowledge imparted by IIM Ahmedabad faculty members. It's not the transmission, but it's the basic capability of yours imbibing that knowledge and making use of it in your life is what is important to us. And this diploma of Ahmedabad is nothing but a proof of that. Today marks a significant milestone in your life. You are celebrating your 16 months long journey and a difficult journey, right? The visit to the campus, beyond the work day classes, and all that, then the rigor that was followed by the faculty colleagues of mine. No compromises on that. Many a time we feel that online programs are blended mode programs or these mixed mode programs, we can get it easy, but you have already experienced it. So let me again greet you and congratulate you in making through this journey and being successful in form of acquiring this diploma. That's why I feel honored to address today our distinguished graduates of Business Analytics program. Let me also congratulate each one of you who has demonstrated the exceptional commitment, intellect in navigating the complexity of the data analysis. The data analytics program which I've gone through, also along with that the business strategy and the decision-making capabilities which you have acquired and also probably have applied in your current workspaces. You have already invested countless hours in studying, collaborating on projects, pushing the boundaries of your understanding. I hope you will be able to reap, or you are already reaping, the fruits of that complex journey. As we celebrate your achievement, it is imperative to recognize the transformative power of what you have learned, especially in the era of the unprecedented volumes of data, the rapid technological advancements, and ability to derive insights from the information has become a cornerstone of success of virtually every industry. Your expertise in business analytics equips you with the formidable skill set, one that empowers organizations to make informed decisions, identify emerging trends, and unlock new opportunities. However, this power comes with great responsibility. As future leaders, as innovators in the field of business analytics, you have a pivotal role to play in shaping the ethical and societal implications of your data-driven decision making. The insights you're going to generate from the data have potential to drive growth, have potential to enhance the efficiency, improve our lives, yet they also carry the weight of ethical consideration, privacy concerns, and biases which are inherent in data. Therefore, I urge you to approach your work with integrity, empathy, and commitment to the social responsibility. Strive not only to optimize the algorithms and models, but to ensure that your analysis aligns with the principles of fairness, transparency, and inclusivity. You also make sure that you are not only going to look for your own interest, but you're going to champion that diversity in the society and ensure that everybody's perspective and everybody's well-being is taken care, not the profit maximization is going to be the ultimate role of your life. In the realm of business analytics, ethical challenges abound. From concerns surrounding the data privacy, security to the potential from algorithmic bias, discriminations which are being thrown from that, the choices you're going to make will have far-reaching consequences. It is incumbent upon you to navigate these complexities with a clear model which compasses the dedication to upholding the highest standards of life and social well-being of one and all. Especially in the current times, the pace at which AI technology is advancing, the issues which have been delineated of ethics earlier have acquired far more importance. Remember that ethics is not merely a set of rules to be followed, but a guiding philosophy that should permeate every aspect of your work. It requires thoughtful consideration, critical reflection, and willingness to confront the difficult questions. It demands transparency, it demands accountability, and willingness to challenge the status quo when necessary. As you embark on professional journey, I encourage you to embrace the ethical imperative inherent in the field of business analytics. Seek out opportunities to promote the ethical practices within your organization, because it's the organizations which are creating these newer and newer algorithms. You're going to be part of it, and if it's you who are going to uphold whether it will annihilate the societies of the future or it's going to you make it useful and beneficial for the societies of the future. Remember, each and every one of you has a potential to make that profound impact in the world of business. As you leave this institution and venture forth into the world, remember the words of Mahatma Gandhi. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Let your commitment to ethics be the guiding force that leads you to the success, fulfillment, and legacy of the positive change. As you embark on the next phase of your journey, remember that true measure of success lies not only in the personal achievement, but also in the impact you make on the world. Whatever career you pursue, always remain steadfast in your commitment to excel, to have the integrity and the concept of service to others. In closing, I would want to extend my heartfelt congratulations to each and every one of you. The road ahead may be challenging, but I have no doubt that you possess the knowledge, the skills, and the passion to thrive in whatever endeavor you pursue. So go forth with the confidence, embrace the opportunities that await, and never forget the lessons you have learned here. Once again, congratulations to the graduating class of Business Analytics. The world awaits your brilliance, your passion, your unwavering commitment to ethical excellence. Go forth and make us proud. Congratulations, the whole world awaits your brilliance. Thank you very much.
Please rise for the national anthem.
I declare the convocation closed.